And trauma transference, Leah, what's the difference between biological trauma and environmental trauma and the influence on the child? How would you define those two different things?
Which lens do you want to take? Like environmental trauma could be, the pollutant and the blue light in the room, or environmental trauma could be that they live in a house that's, abusive and violent. Could be things. But it's the idea that our cells have memory, and the trauma information that I was talking about before with Rachel Yehuda's group, that's the whole idea around trauma transference. It's the idea that what any of previous generations have experienced, we will have memory of it in our body. And to think that it won't be there in some capacity and that it won't influence our health in the next generation is too simplistic. But it's interesting when you look at it in multiple ways. You look at it in the context of, let's say, Rachel Yehuda's work, and that PTSD patterning is one thing. But it's also that, as like if we go back to the beginning, the idea of the mum's brain changing from pregnancy, postpartum, then while she's breastfeeding, for example, all women will experience layers of trauma come up in that postpartum window. So that also comes back to the postnatal depression. It's the idea that the trauma experiences of what they experienced, and this idea of, as parents, probably one of the hardest parts of being a parent is trying to be present in the moment and meet your child's needs and not have your own stuff come up and be triggered by it and dissociate from it, because then you're perpetuating that pattern. When you look at your child and your issues get triggered and then you're removed from them, then you're just setting up exactly the same thing in them. So it's that intergenerational nature can be cellular, but also can be behavioral. And the behavioral stuff is tricky. I say it to everyone, if you're not in therapy as a parent, I don't know how you're doing it, because you have to be accountable to someone, because how else are you going to break these patterns? How else are you going to evolve anything? It's confronting. This whole parenting gig is confronting. It's confronting in many different ways, but it's the most powerful way that we can change things. And there's no greater satisfaction than having a child that you can see that tri-generational trauma that has been going on for generation after generation, and you can see it finally break in them, and you can support them to achieve that. There's nothing greater than that. And we can see the brain changes that go with it, and the physiological changes that go with that, and then the life experience that they can have. So it's about looking at it through the lens of, how can I improve this in a positive capacity, rather than, oh my God, I've got so much, I've got so many issues and so much experience. What is it that I need to do with it? But clearly I'm an advocate of counseling and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, it seems like such a balancing act between being there for your child and then not letting them see you not deal with your stuff. So yeah, it's a bit of a minefield, isn't it?
It's tricky, but I think the honesty piece is what our parents' generation didn't have the language around. They didn't have the societal language around, it's okay to repair situations, it's okay to be accountable, it's okay to be fallible, that sort of thing. Whereas our generation, I think we've learned that you can do that, which is good. So I'm hoping that it makes it better. But, my kids have a psychological fund, not a savings account for them. It's normal.